this is I'm enjoying this line of questioning, but there's another thing that's popped up for me, which is I'd love to get your thoughts on. So one of the things I do is I train entrepreneurs, and as I've been reading your work and thinking more about what the gifting economy means, and like, are there business models that I've never thought of that could be just as effective? Do you have any advice for ways to think about doing business as entrepreneurs that are, examples of the story of interbeingness more than the story of separation?
Yeah, I've been contemplating writing an article on this business in the gift, because it actually is a viable business model. I use that business model. Like I have a Substack, and a lot of people on Substack, not everybody, because a lot of people get this actually, but a lot of people, like the classic business model is you put some stuff on for free and then other stuff behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And the idea is, if you want, this good stuff, well, I'm going to keep it unless you pay me for it. Like that, it's kind of an adversarial relationship. And I don't do that. I just put it all on for free. And I say, if you would like to support me, then, get a paid subscription or donate it on my website. But I don't compel people to do that. I trust what I have noticed in myself, which is, if somebody gives me a gift, I want to give them something in return. Like I subscribe to some very popular people on Substack, like Glenn Greenwald, Matt Taibbi. They've got tens of thousands of paid subscribers or more. They don't need my money, but I want to give them money. Like when Radiohead released an album like this, I think it was In Rainbows or whatever, back in 2007, they were like, okay, all this electronic music downloads, we're just going to put it out there for voluntary payment.
Yeah. And
it's not like Radiohead needed the money, but I'm like, yeah, I want to give you guys some money because this album rocks, this is great. So this, I've noticed this in myself. Like I want to give to those who have blessed me. So if I think so I do this for online courses. In fact, there's an online course that I have called Living in the Gift that goes really deep into, because there's so much psychology and so much wounding comes up when you try to offer things by gift, and then people take advantage of you, and then you realize, oh, maybe I wasn't fully in generosity and trust to begin with. So there's like, it's a whole journey. And so that's why when people try it, sometimes it doesn't work, because maybe they're still putting some manipulative energy into the ask. So it's what I'm saying is that, yes, it is a viable business model, but it's not trivial. And it can work for content creators of all kinds, musicians. It can work for software. It can work for film. It can work for pretty much any digital product. Non-digital products, that's a bit more complicated because the cost of production is non-zero. For me, like the cost of producing the first copy of an essay, I mean, that's, days or even weeks of labor. The second copy costs me nothing. And the third copy, the marginal cost of production is zero. Therefore, there's no natural price point. And the only reason that people can charge for such things is that they maintain artificial scarcity. Digital rights management, copyright, paywalls, artificial scarcity. And like, there's enough scarcity in the world already. Why create more of it? So I really think that this is the business model of the future.
Was there anything you didn't expect when you first implemented that? Anything you were surprised by?
I didn't enter into it with full consciousness. So pretty much everything that has happened has been if not a surprise, like a discovery. You know, it started when I wrote The Ascent of Humanity, and I was just putting it online as I wrote it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then revising it and putting that online. And finally, it was ready to publish as a book. And this website that I had built myself, you know, from this was back in the early 2000s, you know, you know, from like the style sheet on up, I just built it myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, now I got to take it down, you know, because otherwise no one will buy the book. I'm like, no, I don't care. It's too beautiful. And I don't want to make people pay. And besides, I don't really believe in intellectual property to begin with. Like, that's another thing. Anyway, so I put it online. I kept it online, you know, and like maybe people will buy the book anyway. And that's kind of what led me to do more and more things in that way. And yeah, part of it also was I'm putting this out for people to read, not to like make it hard for them to access it. I want them to read it. And it's sacred to me. And where did it even come from? Where did these ideas come from? Did I actually make them, or did I receive them?
Mm-hmm.
They're part of a cultural and intellectual context. They come from many, many conversations and many, many books. And from my own capacity to think, which was given to me by my mother, by my father, by the world that made air and water and sunshine. Like, in a certain sense, my life itself is a gift. My ability to do work is a gift. My ability to think, my ability to write, like everything that went into my creation came from somewhere else. So it is by nature a gift. And that's another reason why I want to maintain it as a gift. And, you know, I trust that the return gift will come. And it has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a viable business model.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I find myself, you know, I want to move in that direction. And I on some level intellectually understand the reciprocity of all things. And I have a great ability to, you know, charge a nice fee for my coaching. And that's like such a juicy thing also.
Yeah, I'm not saying like that you shouldn't do that. You know, it's again like trusting what really feels right. Like, there's a lot of good reasons to charge money. Making a payment is a kind of an initiation.
Yes,
it's an entry ritual. It signals to the unconscious that I'm doing this for real. So it could very well be that if you didn't charge, people wouldn't take your coaching seriously. Like, well, I didn't pay for it. You know, I can just take it or leave it. Maybe I'll come late to my session. You know, I'm not going to do the homework. But if they're making a payment, they're affirming to their unconscious mind that this is important. I hold this valuable.
That's
so. I'm definitely like the reason to do gift economics isn't so that you qualify as a good and virtuous person.
Yeah, I think where I'm coming from is something I hear a lot in the coaching industry of like, coaching is great for people that have the resources to pay for it. And, you know, I find myself wanting to supply it to people that don't have the money at the time in a lot of senses.
And maybe you do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey friend, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular clip, then I have something else I want to tell you about, which is the League of Superconductors. It's a business mastermind that I run to elevate the greatest change makers of our time. That is people that I like to call quantum entrepreneurs, metaphysical, spiritual teachers, healers, coaches, light workers of different types. And this is a year-long business mastermind starting in May of 2022. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, if you're looking to better fuel your mission by having a business that brings in all the abundance you're looking for, that both operates at the 3D level, serving the people of Earth, and at a multi-dimensional level, bringing in all of the higher wisdom and experience that you have access to. That's what we're doing. So if that sounds like something for you, then you can check out the link below, read a little bit more about the program, what we do each month. And I also invite you to apply for a call with me, a strategy session. We can get to know each other. I'll coach you a little bit, and you can decide if that might be the exact thing that you've been looking for. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.